Okay, so you guys probably saw a while back, I filmed a video out here talking about theft, talking about taillight theft, which has become a thing apparently. Tailgate theft is probably still a thing as well, and one of the ways that thieves do this is they get into the bed and they access the latch right here to open up your tailgate. Now, I don't know the exact process of doing it, but I'm sure thieves who do it probably know that it's not that difficult. So I put this stainless steel bracket right here, which blocks access to it from the inside of the bed. So if the tailgate's up, you're not going to have access to get anything back there. Well, my friends over at Omaha Bravo actually designed a part specifically to do that. That is a lot more thought out than what I designed, and honestly, it's probably a heck of a lot more secure, and they sent me a sample of it, which we're going to install today. So hang tight, I'll be right back. So I actually had subscribers send me information about Omaha Bravo designs. And, you know, when I went to their website, I read about them, and it's really cool. They essentially started with a solution to help mount DeWalt battery chargers to a wall, because nothing else existed apparently. After that, he decided to do all sorts of other little innovative things, and eventually came to the conclusion that this type of stuff is really needed, because even if you have insurance, you know, the process of trying to get your tailgate replaced, the process of getting taillights replaced is not inexpensive. It's super inconvenient, and in most cases, it's going to put your truck out of commission for a little while until you get the parts that you need. So, you know, he's been coming up with some really innovative solutions to be able to secure the Super Duty and many of the vulnerabilities that it has from opportunistic thieves who might just want to target your vehicle because they think they can make some cash off of your taillights, your tailgate, or other components in your vehicle. So big shout out to him. I know he's a relatively small operations, and it's very, very good to see companies coming up with solutions like this that aren't these massive, you know, corporate conglomerates. So really awesome to see this product come out of a relatively small shop that is trying to do really good things for folks who own these vehicles. So he sent me this bracket kit. Now, he sent me a few things. I believe this one right here is actually a hood guard, and it's designed specifically to keep someone from just easily accessing your hood, popping it open, and doing whatever they would do underneath your hood. And these right here are the brackets that are designed to secure this area to prevent someone from tampering in here. So we're going to install them today. It's a relatively simple install, but it's really ingenious how he came up with the solution and how innovative it is because of the attachment points and the fact that once it's installed, unless you specifically have access to the tailgate being down, taking the taillight out, you're not really going to have a clear path to getting to the hardware that mounts it all in place. So the first step is to remove the taillight. Now, I have security screws everywhere now because I just don't want to take the risk that someone's going to steal my tailgate or steal my taillights conveniently. So I've done a lot of kind of interesting as well as some obvious and some really ridiculous things to help secure some of the easy accessible points on my truck. That said, let's go ahead and pop the taillight out so we can get this hardware installed on this side. And then the other side is simply the mirror reverse of what we're doing here, so I'll probably only show you one side. Now, the first thing I've done is remove the two screws that actually secure the taillight in place. They're basically just some screws that hold it in right here, and then there are some grommets on the other side that kind of secure it in and pop the whole assembly in place. Now that I've done that, you're going to see once we remove the taillight, it's really simple, and then you'll see one of the ridiculous things I did that make it kind of funny, but I think some people got a laugh at it when I told them I did this. I basically wrote "stolen" all over the taillight. Just because, you know, if someone were to steal it and they were going to throw it on eBay or wherever they would sell it or take it to a shop, somebody might be a little discouraged in buying it if they know that it was stolen from a vehicle. You know, as long as it's on my vehicle, I don't care that it says all of this, but basically it lets people know that, you know, at least if somebody tries to sell this and they want to represent it as being a new product to someone on eBay or Craigslist or whatever, they'll know that it was a stolen product, and some people will just avoid buying it because of that. So it might make it a little bit more of a deterrent. Anyways, let's go ahead and unplug the light. Very simple process right there. It's probably one of the reasons people target it so much. So the next step is to take the bracket, and you want to make sure you have the correct bracket for it because there are two of them here. And you want the bracket that is going to essentially go into this space right here to block that from being accessible. And when I tell you, it takes a little bit of kind of figuring it out to see specifically how that works. But you're going to take your bracket and this is how it sits, and it blocks this area from being accessible. You're going to feed it through here, then you're going to take this. You can see how it's squared off on the back to fit over it. It's going to sit on it flush like that. Then you're going to feed it through here, and it's going to align it to the center of that essentially. And even with my little bracket on here, it actually fits well. So it fits hopefully well. We'll see when the tailgate's up if there's any interference, and if there is, we'll make adjustments where needed. Then on the other side, you have these little spacers like this. So you're going to want to use the spacers to go over a dimple that's on the other side, and that's going to allow you to put the bolt in place. So you have one spacer and then the other one. So essentially you're creating like almost like a wedding cake effect. This one goes over the dimple, and then this one acts as a washer. So put that in place like that. And we will take our nylon lock nut right here. And we are going to screw that on. Now on the inside right here, you can see how this washer wants to drop down, and that's a spacer. You need to make sure you hold it up so it goes flat against this piece of aluminum and around the dimple, and that's what the dimple looks like. So you're using this one to go around the dimple and this one to act as a washer to clamp down. So you want to be sure you do that straight, and you want to be sure to not over tighten it, because you might have to make some adjustments. Okay, so I went to the garage and got me a deeper socket. Might make this a little easier, hopefully. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's going to make it a lot easier, actually. Okay, so now I got to admit, tightening that up was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. I really don't know why. It's pretty much a standard nylon lock nut in there. Let's see if I can brighten the picture a little bit. But man, it took a lot of energy to get that thing tightened. We're gonna lift the tailgate and see if it latches. Looks like it still latches good, and you can see it's right there next to that area. It's not making any contact, thankfully, which is really, really good. I'm gonna tighten that down a little bit more. But yeah, this is it's no joke trying to tighten that. Okay, so I've sufficiently tightened it, I believe. Again, you can see it's close. Maybe you can see. Let's see if I can brighten it a little bit. You can see the bracket's right there. It is really close to the tailgate, but it is not actually touching the tailgate. So that works out. Now I'm going to see if the electronic up closes without any issue at all. There we go. That is really, really nice. Once I get the other side on, I'll go inside and let you see what it looks like. Okay, so we're closing the tailgate from the bed of the truck now. Let's see what happens here. So check that out. So between mine that I had already installed in there, which didn't need to come out, so I didn't remove it, and this one that was added to it, honestly, I didn't even need to have mine, because this one covers up that whole space right there. And I just bent mine back just a little bit, but that is really, really nice. And what's also nice about it is you don't have to worry about catching yourself on the one I did. So the one I put back here is nice, but occasionally when you're pulling something out, if it has like a cover or tarp or whatever, it can catch on that. This one is nice and contoured there, so you don't have to worry about that. But that is really cool, very effective. So that is something that I would absolutely recommend if you have a newer Super Duty and you're worried about somebody popping your tailgate down from the inside. If you don't have a bed cover, or even if you do have a bed cover, this is something you may want to get for your vehicle. This right here is the hood guard. In his instructions, it specifically says works from 2017 to 2022. So I don't believe this fits a 23 or 24 model. We might try to make this work. So we'll save this for another video, and we'll see if this works. I'm going to reach out to him just to make sure first. But I'll definitely put a link in the description of this video to this product if this is something you'd like to see, because I really think that this has its place for a lot of folks who are concerned about taillight and tailgate theft. And honestly, this is just one of those really cool inventions that somebody needed to come up with, and it's really nice to know that it was a small company in the US who thought of it first. So very, very cool. He's got all sorts of other items. I know he's working on one that actually like blocks all of this over here, so you can't even access it. And I know some people are going to say, you know, that's a bit much for what you're trying to accomplish, but it really isn't, because if you come out of the movie theater, out of the shopping center, out of the store, and you come and your taillights are gone, That's a stressful situation. That's a pain in the butt. It's dealing with insurance companies. It's dealing with possibly driving around with no taillights, which is illegal. It's a huge, huge, huge concern. It's almost like if someone steals your hitch. A lot of people are like, why would you pay so much money to lock your hitch on? Just get a new one if someone steals it. But then you have to think about the fact that if you need your hitch at the moment that someone steals it and it's gone, you can't tow what you might need to tow. That's really what it comes down to. It's not the fact that you can't replace something or that insurance won't cover it. It's the fact that the thing that was stolen might be something you need right at that moment. A lot of people say that when a vehicle gets stolen, they're just like, file an insurance claim, get a new one. Well, if you're stuck and you can't get where you're going and you have to now Uber to get where you're going because your vehicle that you really like is stolen, it's a huge inconvenience. That's why people are willing to pay as much as they're willing to pay for alarm systems, for theft prevention systems, for theft deterrent systems, things like that, because it avoids you having to go through the inconvenience of losing something that you need and also having to deal with the fact and wrestle with the fact that some lowlife took it from you. Anyways, guys, I will put a link in the description of this video to Omaha Bravo Design, so if you want to buy any of this stuff, you can look at their entire inventory of stuff and pick what you need for your specific application. Anyways, if you haven't had a chance, guys, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.